Go get some. And hey, do me a favor, a flavor while you're at it.
Some too?
Give me actually, you could just bring down the pot.
And just like pour it on your head.
I got a cup here I've been drinking from, you shithead. I'd prefer it in that if that's okay with you.
I don't know why I said that.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your twice monthly podcast, temporarily delivering the juice on Joe, and this is your host, Aaron. And guys, you may remember a time back in the 80s when we all had a summer job together at a Mystical, and that's Mystical with a K, by the way, off-season ski resort in the North Shore of Minnesota. And, you know, it was truly a magical time, also with a K. You see, I was a young, introverted mage right off my freshman year at college. I gave basilisk excursions to tourists while also learning to focus my power over mana with improvised, or improved rather is what I meant to say there, spellcasting ability as tutored by a wise yet crotchety old maintenance man. My friend Caleb here, he was a magus working to unlock his power over earthly elementals while also conquering personal tragedy. And Ryan, he was a spoiled rich fuck with a broadsword and influential father, which gave him the privilege of working at this metaphysical resort with a K, even though he lacked true powers himself. Now, I was determined to earn the romantic eye of Emma, my alchemist best friend and total enchantress, but to do it, I was going to have to unlock the town's darkest secrets, make some friends, and take some chances. That's right. We were coming of Mage.
Yay! Why do I get to be the mundane douchebag?
I'm glad I get to be the magus that's crushing pussy at the camp.
I don't remember that part of the...
I kind of had some
There's some fan fiction.
Oh, you're already writing that up, aren't you?
I'm trying to fix the ending on that book.
Welcome, everybody, to the Autopod Decepticast book club. If you can't tell, I obviously read...
We talk about one book.
Michael Andrews' Coming of Mage over my vacation period. So I liked it a lot. It was a great read. You guys were already ahead of me on this, right? I know
yeah.
Caleb was.
I finished it.
Yeah, I finished
Ryan
it just months ago, yeah.
Good book.
Oh, okay.
Nope,
You guys are...
I was in it, man.
I talked to Mike, because obviously it ends at a point where you could clearly see that it could continue, and he had some thoughts about, you know, where it could go, but he's not sure if he's ever going to write the sequels, so.
I'd like to start a contest for a title for the next book. Like, you know...
Yeah.
Mage 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
I don't know. Something. Still maging.
After all these years.
Actually, Ryan, I think the main character reminded me a lot of you, actually. I was picturing you really the whole time as the narrator of that movie. He was... kind of selfish. He
Of his own ass.
He was introverted.
Oh yeah, his whole dynamic with the girl.
Yeah. He gets focused on a woman and shuts out everybody else, but will awkwardly be around her all the time if whatever possible.
I feel attacked.
And, but maybe like that character you grew and
Well, I hope so. He's like a teenager.
Well,
maybe 19.
Yes, biologically, yes.
Oh no.
Mentally, I don't know.
I don't do all those things anymore.
But no, I did like how the main character comes to grips with his demon. You know, he learns lessons. I would say the theme of the novel is change.
Yes.
You were gonna what?
No, I was going to ask you about your Mexico vacation.
Oh, wow.
And I had it in my notes too. I was hoping you didn't read the book because I was going to ask you for the book report.
There's a picture of him reading it in a hot tub
I didn't even see that.
In the Yucatan.
It was a pool, but that's
whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. It looked really nice.
It was nicer than wherever you were.
I was at fucking work.
I was in a van.
Yeah. Speaking Speaking of which,
Yes.
So you guys, but I didn't know that you'd already talked. Sorry, I just want to put the lid on this. You talked to Michael, or you both have talked to Michael about this
It was
sequel?
DMs on Twitter.
same here.
I noticed that the book was written like 10 years ago, so he's taken the George R.R. Martin path on this one.
Yeah, he's just not. He just wasn't sure whether he was ever
That's-
going to get around to it.
I wonder how long it took him. You know, maybe we'll have him on the show. We'll
We
do a
should.
Coming of Mage cast.
Since we've talked about it now 2 weeks in a row, or a month in a
and,
row.
well, and even more than that over the course of
It's
time,
true.
honestly.
Oh, Caleb, what were you going to say?
Yeah.
Something sparked with a van.
The band. Well, so Aaron, while you were away, and Mike Seibert got to witness this on our.
Yeah, I had to catch
Text
up
me-
to our text
So,
messages because I wasn't
basically-
getting them in the deepest jungles of Mexico where I was living a luxurious life of vacation.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. You deserve it. You do. We talked about, I don't know, the last episode or episode before last, where Aaron gave Ryan a mattress to dispose of.
Yes.
And Ryan still has the mattress in his van, and he sleeps in it on his lunch breaks.
Like at night.
Well, no, not all the time, because I was concerned it's summertime and it's hot.
Sure.
And I said, Ryan, I worry about you taking a nap out there where it's hot. To which Ryan replied, oh no, that's okay. I sleep in the bathroom at work when it's too hot outside.
That was a fun revelation.
And I said, what do you mean you sleep on do you sleep on the floor of the bathroom? And he goes, it's a very clean bathroom.
It is.
And it's really close to my desk.
They have some private bathrooms that you can lock at work, and I go in there like once a week tops and sleep for my lunch.
And what is your method? What do you do?
I have a jacket at work and also usually a trench coat.
Yes.
So I take the trench coat and I lay down on that and I use the jacket as a pillow.
Yes. And I would say, why don't you just bring a regular pillow to sleep on? Or do you like the sensation
No,
of
I
sleeping
just
on
feel
a
like it would
jacket?
look weird walking into a bathroom with a pillow.
It doesn't
I
look
like how
weird.
he goes into his
it
1 o'clock
does-
meeting with a button imprinted on the side of his forehead.
It doesn't look weird in the middle of the summer, you walking the bathroom with a trench coat.
These are excellent points. I did tell Caleb that I used to use like empty conference rooms, but then one time, like I guess a meeting started late and people started filing in while I was sleeping in there, and that was awkward.
That is definitely embarrassing. But I think this happens to me sometimes. I forget that people can be observant.
It's
sometimes
true.
think that nobody's really observant, and I can have behaviors like adjusting my junk by putting my hands down my pants and in public, and
Not even through the pocket.
no, I'm not.
Straight up down the waist.
Can't do it from the pocket too long. I got to reach down into one of the pant legs, right?
Of course.
But the fact is that there are probably a handful of people in your office who've noticed your pattern.
A handful, no less.
It is true. It's like the Douglas Adams wrote in one of his books. It's like people who are observant or intelligent sometimes just assume everybody else is not.
Where are you? Are you standing up like in the middle of the office or in a meeting or?
Well, no, are you talking about my adjustments?
Yeah.
No, that might be at a grocery store.
But it's only at the grocery store. That's why I'm no longer allowed at the Martyr House.
Handling produce and then shoving your hand down your pants?
Listen, I mean, sometimes I
I
do
am.
it.
I'm listening very clear. I'm very observant.
Sometimes I'll do the over-the-top thing, but even that I'll still do in public. And
If you're going to do it right, if you have pants on with a zipper, you unzip without unbuttoning the top button and you shove your
hands
hand
in
in
the
there,
zip hole.
cup style. Cup style.
right.
Rummage around in there.
Yeah.
pull out a goodie.
There's some Energon.
That's right.
Yeah. See, I brought that back around.
Well
Thank God.
done.
Very Transformers-centric.
How was the rest of your vacation?
Good. So
All the pictures of him on vacation are him shoving his hands down his pants.
Tulum, where freedom is free.
They don't impress me there.
Last episode recap. So we had Renegades. They blew up the Technodrome. Yes, I said it correctly. The giant spherical Cyclopsian fortress from Dimension X that also serves as the primary Cobra base. Everybody loves a sweet crossover, right, Ryan?
Crossover.
Cobra's E-Suite survived that destruction and launched a full-on attack to capture the BET. Guess what? Mission accomplished. Nothing else to talk about there, except for the fact that Duke got stabbed in the chest by a freshly stroked serpent, only to have it horrifyingly ripped out by his moronic kid brother. More tears were shed than 1,000 Native Americans standing next to 1,000 littering highway travel vehicles.
That guy was
So-
Italian.
So
He was.
1,000 tears,
You got it.
basically.
Almost, one might say, a trail of them.
I did. While researching that joke, I watched that commercial and did learn that guy was Italian.
Yeah. He pretended like he wasn't, but he definitely
Oh,
was.
like to get the role?
No, like he just legit was like, in life, was like, no, I'm Native American.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, he basically just kind of co-opted the culture
Oh,
completely.
wow. I don't remember her name. That white lady who head up
The NAACP. Yes,
Oh, my
same
God.
thing.
And so,
Appropriated is the word I was looking for.
Yo, Joe.
That's right.
I hope there's no Westboro Baptist people at Duke's funeral.
Well, he slipped into a coma, as we know.
Oh, okay. He didn't die.
That's true.
Oh, great. Okay, I was confused. We head into this at the 1:11:55 mark, and where we are is Cobra La.
Mm-hmm.
There's some very dark music that greets us
kind
here.
of Geiger-esque. Like
It
I've always
is.
said that before, but it always strikes me.
Yeah, and what we see here is first we see an outskirts, I guess, of the fortress, if you will, and there's several of their disgusting Grub-zeppelins
Yes.
and fart fighters that are flying around. Had we seen that platform before? Actually,
No, that seems new. That doesn't. I mean, it may have been what they landed on before, but not from this angle. I don't believe, with the little heart in the middle.
right. Yeah. Speaking of Geiger, I thought Contra.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
thinking Contraboss, which I believe is also Geiger
Yeah,
inspired
yeah.
because it's very alien inspired.
Very alien. Yep.
So Serpentor floats his way to greet Globulus and show off his fancy new disco generating
Behold.
machine.
I do love how, man, like, boom, right away he's like, here's the BET, boom, activate.
they waste no time
Yes.
in flipping it on.
Wow.
And
Yeah, you're right. They get to work really
energy
fast.
is immediately transmitted from the ceiling of the throne room and into outer space.
Mm-hmm.
The spores are just guzzling up all that sweet, sweet broadcasted transmitted energy.
I will say this section and the next section we're going to talk about feels like just balls to the wall. They're like, let's make this happen. Well, they just said,
They're like, it's an hour and 12 in. We need to make a movie.
I
here."
know. So they're like, we have very little time left, and it is just action non-stop from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. Except
Can
for
we talk
this.
about the time worm?
Yeah, except for this. So Globulus pulls out a time worm, which looks like a, speaking of Tulum, a mezcal moth larva. And when this, the idea is, I guess, is that when this thing crawls to the tippy top of the stick that he's holding, that's when it's over for all humanity. Ryan, you seem to have some statements about this.
It's so extra. Like, a clock? No, not even an hour.
What is extra when you're talking about the world of Cobra
It's
La?
true. I mean, that's great. A great point. I just thought, like, we're not doing any time. What's our time device? Oh, a worm on a fucking dildo.
I like how they hate normal technology so much they can't even use a stopwatch, which doesn't necessarily even have to have electricity.
Or a sundial.
Or a sundial, right. It's very lo-fi tech, but no, this caterpillar. So I came up with a few names that I felt
Great.
were better names for this
Than
what
Time
they put-
Worm?
Yeah, than Time Worm. Just in keeping with the
I would also
Cobra Law naming conventions.
100% watch a movie named Time Worm.
So tell me which of these three options you like best.
Okay.
Instead of Time Worm, the caterpillar of chronology.
It's not bad.
I'd call it a counterpillar.
That's
That's pretty good.
Good punch up, Bruce.
Yeah, I think. Thank you.
Thanks.
The maggot of the moment.
I like that.
The final one. The larva of lastingness. Les should have gone with that first.
Yeah,
All
probably.
right. Well,
But then we wouldn't have had Caleb's great joke.
that's true. Well, he would have figured
It's
it
a
out.
it's a collab.
That's right. At this point, we switch back to the Joes. Mainframe has picked
Mainframe.
up an energy signature.
Sauce. He picks up an energy sauce.
Is that what he said?
That's what he says. He's like, I've identified that energy sauce.
What about Minutepede?
Okay.
Great,
like it.
great.
I'm just going to
Write that down.
The only thing I don't like about that is it's not Cobra Law naming convention. You got to have the something
of the something.
Oh.
The minute of the
P.
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work at all.
I'm done. I'm done.
I've identified that energy source.
So he so he just knows that is from the Himalayas and that has got to be the BET. Here's a thing that I don't understand. Why they couldn't have deduced that to begin with. They were conducting these experiments in the Himalayas to begin with. They know their people were kidnapped in the Himalayas.
Yes.
They know they're sending people to go try and help those people. They should just
They can't
know
find
it's
them, though.
probably in the Himalayas.
I do like it. We paused here at 1:12:53 where it on screen says sighting confirmed Himalayas.
And very good resolution on that.
Absolutely.
On that satellite imagery right there.
Yeah, the satellite's almost like on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be because otherwise you have to look just top down. That's how satellites work.
Right.
Yeah. Oh well.
It's
more
a
of
drone,
it's
basically.
Which didn't exist as far
So-
as I know at this point in
So
time.
he's got a gun. I bet it's cocked already.
I have a note about that.
Okay, good.
Not this gun.
Oh yeah,
Also, I
know
don't-
what's coming up.
we're
They're just
looking
walking
at-
around with loaded guns.
We're
all
looking
the
at
time.
General Hawk right here, who has a rifle. Kind of looks like an M1 a little bit, but then it has an NES
Yeah,
control
yeah.
pad on
It does.
the
It's cheap.
stock.
It looks cheap.
Were these all laser guns? Are we led to believe that? They
I
shoot
believe,
some sort
except
of
for the
photon
intro,
or- Okay.
where the cartridges are coming
Oh,
out.
that's right. And it was General Hawk that had that, wasn't
Yep.
it? Who was busting at that submachine gun. So Falcon, at this point, makes it clear that he wants Serpentor badly. And just, he's asking for one clear shot, and he cocks a shotgun
this is where
to
we-
exhibit his readiness. Ryan, what do you got to say
I was
about
just
that?
that we continue the inappropriate timing
I
of
would say,
cocking weapons.
please uncock that.
Yeah, why does he have a gun in that room? Why a shotgun in that room? And he just needs one clear shot. Well, I hope that clear shot is also up close because he's holding a shotgun.
Yeah, you got to be within a couple, like 20 yards.
And in that case, you don't need that clear shot.
Absolutely.
Everything's
You
wrong
can aim
with
at
this.
almost anything.
Well, that's okay because it looks like Beachcomber's coming to calm him down.
That's
'Cause
right.
Beachcomber's the kind of person that's good at calming people down.
Or is it Beachhead?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Beachcomber head. Beachhead comber.
Oh, this is like a mashup where now somebody's going to ask me to draw Beachhead as Beachcomber.
There is a green beachcomber that was just released by X-Transbots, and I don't know why that exists, but you can make that mashup.
Because nobody demanded it.
Create the fiction for that. Yeah, Beachhead tells Rawhide that he's not going anywhere, and at this this is a weird exchange to me. Lieutenant Falcon goes, "Problem,
weird.
Beachhead."
Like
And-
he never thought of it.
why would he be asking that? He just court-martialed, nearly court-martialed this guy like 2
It
days
seems
ago.
General Hawk is really easily persuaded because he's like, "What's the problem?" He's like, "Hey, these guys can't come. They're weird." And immediately General Hawk's like, "You're right."
Yeah, he is. And so, Beachhead goes on to say that he doesn't believe that any of the Rawhides are quite ready for this kind of action.
They're clearly not.
Especially Lieutenant Falcon. So Falcon.
I don't like this dude.
So General Hawk agrees and does what you do with the pieces of garbage on your team, which is what do?
They guard the base.
That's right, exactly.
It's a real brush
Because that worked really well last time.
It's true. Why do they keep putting him in guard
Look,
duty?
That's right.
look at the scene here. All of these people are fucking crazy people. They're all insane. Look what they're wearing, for Christ's sake.
More into what they're wearing when we get to the Himalayas later.
No, I have some notes on that too. But
They're crazy.
I did like the guard the base thing where because it made me think of like whenever you're playing video games, like and your younger sibling wants to play, like you are playing, you're helping me navigate.
Or you give them the blank controller because you think they're too dumb to realize they're
I never
not
I never got
controlling
that
the character.
Sophisticated. Nice.
Oh no, I would give younger kids. I'd be playing a one-player game like Super Mario Brothers, and I'd give an infant a toddler.
First of all,
Not
who is
infant.
entrusting you with an
A
infant?
toddler. I'd give a toddler a controller and just make them think they were playing the game awesomely, like I
Well,
was.
that's cool.
It
At least we're
also-
encouraging them.
Well, yeah, it also
I
made me
was
think
getting them off
of
my back.
it made me think
I'm
of
playing.
like the whole like how you trick stupid people or like children of like, hey, let's play a game.
Stupid people or children.
I was just like, stupid people. Who are you talking about? Anyway, children is what I meant. Stupid children. It's like, hey, let's play a game. Who can be the quietest?
that old chestnut.
Because Daddy's got a headache.
Daddy's been drinking his punchy juice.
Then he gets mad.
So you better keep her quiet.
Some son of a bitch took those cookies.
Woo.
We're now at the 1:13:25 second mark, and Roadblock and Cobra Commander are making their way across this mountainous
Cobra
lizard
Commander
landscape.
has gotten worse.
Yeah.
He ain't looking so good.
I love this part because, like, he just Roadblock's reaction when he chokes Cobra Commander and just like it right here is so natural. I'm like, first of all, we have now we've reached the point where the GIF that Mike Seibert keeps sending us of Roadblock choking Cobra Commander, but it's so understandable. I'm like, he's been repeating this sentence, Caleb.
Was a man.
Well, not just that, though. It's actually even more annoying because he's saying, useless, yes, was once a man. Over, and I get why he's throttling him
Absolutely.
right now.
He's done.
It's pretty annoying. Neither of them should be surviving this weather. He's wearing
For
a
a
short sleeve
reptile,
shirt.
Cobra Commander is really holding up
And
well.
Roadblock's tough too. I mean, he's gonna have some serious PTSD from this whole experience.
And frostbite.
Yes.
God, I hope so.
What?
On both accounts. As we're alluding to, Cobra Commander is a full-on snake. And
With arms.
with
With
these
Teenage
gimpy,
Mutant Ninja Turtle tiny arms.
gimpy little arms here, and despite the fact that these guys should be frozen bricks, Roadblock is annoyed with Cobra Commander.
Can't
He's
take it
throttling
anymore.
him. So they're wrestling each other.
I would say no. I don't think they're really wrestling each other as much as Roadblock.
Well, in a second,
Roadblock's just choking him out.
Cobra Commander gets a little aggressive and starts like Roadblock says, "Stop strangling me!" Like,
Roadblock says that?
yeah, or stop
Well, and
choking
Cobra
me.
Commander also starts to say something about, like, being a serpent and...
Yeah, like they
ruling.
can't rule.
Right.
It's
it's
weird.
psychedelic, honestly.
We should watch this movie on LSD.
I'll do that.
I'll do a microdose of mushrooms.
All right,
I'm into microdosing now. That's a thing
great.
that I haven't done, but I kind of want to get into it.
I kind of want to get into
We
it.
should do it and record, do a podcast.
I will
do it
say I'd
right
rather
now.
do mushrooms than LSD. Mushrooms
agree.
are much more fun.
So, they do wrestle. At least they wrestle enough to fall down this mountainous hill
This
here.
is quite ridiculous.
And they're going at it, and as luck would have it, as Lady Luck, they've rolled right into a G.I. Joe encampment. The people that were sent here originally, like a fucking hour ago,
Yes!
to search for the original Roadblock and the original group of Joes that were kidnapped by Cobra.
I mean, even for a cartoon, this coincidence is pretty like, what?
And this party consists of Lifeline, Flint, and Snowjob. And at first, Roadblock is a bit confused by his surroundings, but not so confused he can't manufacture a great rhyme. As this reunion takes place, this is kind of a weird thing. As the reunion takes place, they make a point to show Cobra Commander just like slithering off away from them, which made me think that he was escaping, having not seen this in a while.
Not at all.
No, he's just
That won't be the case, but he's just like, yep, see you later.
he's just messed up.
I do a couple things. One weird part is that he doesn't recognize that, like,
Well,
his voice, the guy's voice. But then also, I do like the detail where they put frost in his facial hair. I thought that was a nice touch.
This was a real touching part for me when I was little. Like, I was so relieved that he ran into him. and that's it.
Lifeline!
Yeah.
I can't remember the actor who does Roadblock, but that was a very compelling performance. I felt
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it
it was-
felt like he
Yeah, it was good.
It's
was
the same-
desperate in desperation mode and
To
was
your-
genuinely glad to.
Absolutely. To your point, Caleb, you said a couple episodes ago, like, Roadblock is really the most heartfelt character in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he was, like, at Cobra Law, he's like, my buddies!
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he really, I mean, I like following his story arc here.
It's weird to say because he is sort of a caricature with the rhyming and stuff, but he does have the most developed character development throughout this movie.
He is an actual character where everybody else kind of seems like caricature.
And I don't know if development is right. I mean, I guess it is because he's kind of been humbled. He's had to deal with this situation that he's in.
Stop saying that same thing over and over again. I'll kill you.
They contact the home base. At this point, they demand to be put in touch with General Hawk, who, as we know, has a parallel unit of Joes going to Cobra Law. I don't know. Why didn't they just link up with the other search party Joes? They know where they're going. They have to assume that the Joes are going to be there.
It's a mess. There's Joes running around all over the place that don't know what's going on.
Just willy-nilly.
I do feel like there were some scene, like, it feels like a lot of rewrites in the third act here, but because they're just like, just make it happen. It doesn't matter.
Right. So Hawk's unit, we go to focus on them, and they are blowing their way into Cobra Law here. They charge right in.
I love this at 1 minute 14 seconds where Sergeant Slaughter is in a tank top.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for cold.
Yeah.
None of them have time for cold. I think really in this movie, I didn't really notice it. I'll get back to it when the renegades show up. Spoiler.
Okay, great.
Renegades, rawhides.
I know. I cannot keep it straight.
They charge in. Serpentor's a little worried. Galabulus, not worried at all. He knows that there is not much time left for humanity. And Roadblock contacts Hawk to warn him of those plant traps that await he and his unit.
Does he have to rhyme at this? Is this really the best time to rhyme?
You know, if it happens naturally, it happens naturally.
Yeah, I think he got annoyed with Cobra Commander because Cobra Commander wasn't rhyming what he was saying. I think he'd be better like, "What's the man? What's the plan?" I think he would have been down with that.
But then Roadblock would have been saying, "Come up with some more original rhymes."
Well, they could have worked on it together.
This isn't the 1980s, even though it is.
One of them could be beatboxing. Anyway,
I did write down what he said, which was, "Where those leaves grow, you can't survive. That giant plant eats Joes alive."
It's like, do you think he has to get a notepad before every communication?
Maybe he's just good off the cuff like you with your flow, Aaron.
Thanks for that shout out.
Sociables. But right before that, I did love the speech, like at 1:14:50, that Burgess Meredith delivered when he's talking to Serpentor because they breached the gap there, and he says, "I'm aware of that, Serpentor. I'm aware of everything. All shall be accomplished in the fullness of time." And just the way he delivered it is so good. Like, it really struck me.
It's almost like he is an Oscar caliber actor.
Did he win an Oscar?
I think he was nominated.
For Rocky, maybe.
He was definitely nominated. Maybe. Caleb's going to the phones. We'll come
keep
back
talking.
to that later.
I'll check.
Hawk's unit doesn't get the message in time. We've got Sergeant Slaughter, Hawk, a whole mess of Joes. They just go ahead and are captured by all these plants. And, you know, aside from Roadblock's warning, I think you'd be able to tell on the horizon. There's something is up with those plants.
Waving trees with vines on the ground. What are you talking about?
Wriggling and yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to be suspicious of. But so we're watching all the Joes get strangled, pulled up. Even General Hawk, who's got the message, seems to continue to be proceeding into the trap. And you know, these vines are so creepy. Everything. You know, these are actually the least creepy things about Cobra Law. I don't like their little pincher tops, though.
Yeah, that's like an earwig top.
Yeah. We're back to Falcon and Jinx and the crew, and they're watching the horror from a monitor as the rest of the Rawhides enter the control room. You can tell Falcon's mad by the way he smashes his fist into stuff. He
can't control his emotions. This part right here at 1:15:44. With Flint holding Cobra Commander.
He's holding Cobra Commander like I hold my dog that weighs 50 pounds. And he says, my dog doesn't like
look
it.
Look at him.
He says, look at Cobra Commander. Look at him. I'm like, why are we showing... This really creeped me out. With him, like, writhing all around. Why are you holding him like that? It's so upsetting.
Look at him.
Look at him.
this.
Just look at him. Look at Cobra Command.
Like, ugh.
It is putting him on an unfortunate display, but his point is to say that this is what is in store for all of humanity if Cobra wins. He's rallying everybody.
Yeah.
And I guess he knows that because I guess that
I'm sure Roadblock
gave him the skinny on the chemicals and what have you.
Do you still think those look like teeth?
No, at this point I get what they were going for with the scaly mouth lips, their lips.
Yeah.
It still looked oafish in
still
design.
What's a man?
The Rawhides take this as their cue to get in the game. What did Cobra commit? Is he still saying "once a man"?
Yes.
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 It's so upsetting.
So the Rawhides put out by this. It's time to take action. We're gonna leave this base unguarded.
Yeah.
And we head back to Flint's crew, and there's a little good news, bad news.
Yeah,
And-
your eyesight's probably going to be fine. I can't do shit for the snake.
Yeah,
They just leave him writhing over there in the snow.
it looks so pathetic. It's so sad.
It is so sad.
For Christ's sake, put him like in a truck or something.
Yeah, like in a vehicle.
Get him out of there. Just get him the fuck out of there.
So I guess the cure for Roadblock's blindness was Visine because it took 5 seconds to restore his vision.
Or just shining that flashlight.
Maybe so, yeah. He's fine. Cobra's fucked. And then out of nowhere, a tomahawk full of our rawhide friends
Well, they got there
enters the
quick.
scene.
I did have a note about it. It's about a
God.
10-minute flight to the Himalayas, yeah.
Is there? Yeah, there must be that Joe base must have been in Nepal. I guess that's the only thing I can even.
They got there really quick.
Are they properly acclimated?
No.
Do they have a Sherpa?
No.
I did also
They
notice...
obviously didn't hit Eddie Bauer up before they came here because all of their clothes are hilariously inappropriate for this weather. You're either
Hawaiian
wearing
shirt.
short sleeve shirts
Oh.
or like basketball tank tops.
Something tells me Chuckles doesn't give a fuck.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
surprised he didn't come in riding on the helicopter again.
I know.
I did also think that was interesting. This time, Big Lob was the one who was flying the Tomahawk or Eagle Hawk.
Look, there he is over riding again. Oh, the man.
Flint is happy with the reinforcements, and the Rawhides are itching for action. But as Roadblock explains, Cobra Commander is the only one that can tell them, or show them, I guess, the way how to save their friends.
Just this bit in just a second where it's at 1:16:45 where Falcon's like, forget it. He's completely turned into a snake, which is the most earnestly delivered, hilarious line I've ever heard. Cobra Commander, yeah, just fucks off
So Cobra
into the distance.
is presumably leading them down a path, but yeah, he is completely he just slithers off, and how will they know which way to go now? And Tummelrat, thank goodness you have him, and he has special abilities for this sort of thing.
Foreshadowed by the training.
That's right. He discovers.
Although in the most incompetent way possible, as we'll see in just a second. Go ahead.
He discovers this sort of back entrance through the river that we saw earlier, where Cobra Commander and Roadblock kind of escaped. He sees some of the beta dreadnoks planning to blow the cave entrance to presumably protect themselves from the spores.
Yeah.
And at
I'm
this
just gonna say I do like Zorana's line. You want to wake up a clam or something? And I'll tell you what, I wake up a lot of clams. Wink. With my tongue on the pussy. That's a pussy joke. I wrote that down.
So,
God damn you assholes! Not even giving me shit.
Tunnelrat puts his head up through the river.
Crazy mouth game.
And we have to acknowledge him, so we'll stop.
I know. Give it to me.
Consider that your acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And so he peeps his head up and sees Zorana, and I can't remember the name of the other guy here. Do you guys remember?
That might be
call him-
Monkey Wrench.
Good enough.
No, I think it is, but
And the Joes, in hilarious fashion, take them out. That's all I have to say about that. He's tricked. Tunnelrat has tricked these two wandering Joes who are Dreadnoks who are getting ready to blow the cave. They think that it's just him, but nope. There's some people sneaking up behind here, and hello, adios,
I love this
adios,
part.
adios.
where Chuckles punches Okay.
Yeah.
Chuckles punches Xandar, who flies into Buzzard.
They're on swamp fires. They're on a row of swamp fires.
I couldn't find the name of that vehicle, but I didn't look very hard. And then he flies into Ripper. So Chuckles takes out 3 dudes with
this
one
domino
punch.
effect. One punch, and then Flint KOs Torch while Falcon pops Thrasher. Easy peasy. Australian easy.
Lemon squeezy.
So the Rawhides have taken over those swamp fires, which allows them to fly to the top of the dome and ambush the Cobra executives up top.
This plan seems risky. Their plan is, if I can understand it, to explode the bottom of the trees so they topple. Wouldn't that crush everybody? Like, why? Like, I just would have loved if the part where they fall down and the cocoons evaporate if the tree just fell on top of everybody. Because this is a ridiculous plan.
I don't know that. I mean, I guess that has to be their plan because Big Lob makes it clear that he just needs to have his ship Kamikaze into the bottom of that, and he managed to save himself by jumping off at the last second and grabbing onto what I believe is Falcons. And I just noticed that he put a grenade into his ship as well.
I think that's Flint
to enhance the explosion. Who
cares?
Yeah, it's hard to tell at this point. I can't. My cockiness alarm isn't going off, so maybe it is Flint.
Yeah, it also could be that Big Lob just took a little too much onto himself and just like, I'm gonna blow up these trees for no reason.
Maybe so, but even if that was their plan, it all worked out because that's what happened, and we see these cocooned bodies fall 100 feet from the sky, and unlike the people jumping from towers on 9/11, they're fine.
We got to 9/11. Great. Awesome. The towers came down.
And Cobra's firing at the vehicles. They've discovered the ruse, obviously, and I didn't know they had rifle versions of those tentacle plant guns, but they've gunned down these guys, but it doesn't matter because of the action taken here today. Everybody is freed. The rest of the Joes kind of, once they hit the ground, the cocoons that they're in sort of evaporate, and they're immediate. And not only do they evaporate, they must
back
have
in action.
They must have turned into weapons because now
nobody
had weapons necessarily. Unless did they take them? Did they maybe steal some weapons from
because fucking Lady J still had her arrows and fucking what's his face Snake Eyes still had his katana and grenades. I will say I did like that I checked the scoreboard and we can confirm they crashed all their choppers. So they've successfully landed one aircraft, I think, in this whole movie. But this fight that we're watching right now was a lot of fun to watch.
It is a lot of fisticuffs, a lot of good punching. We see Sergeant Slaughter use some wrestling clotheslining moves.
It seemed to me he crushed their heads in his armpit. But
I love when they throw the two. Are those Vipers? I can't remember the name of the soldiers. They throw the two Cobra soldiers into each other and then come back Lady J and is that Flint?
Flint or Falcon
with a 1-2 punch on both sides of it.
Let's say it's Flint because I think they had a baby.
Just lots of good fisticuffs.
It's a good pan. It's a good it's a good pan.
It's great.
We see Hawk strangling one of the Cobra Law minions.
I just like this part again. It's another instance where Hawk is just like easily influenced because Falcon, who is a lieutenant, is like, hey, we gotta go do some stuff, and he immediately General Hawk's like, all right.
Yeah, I think Hawk is into the moment, and Falcon, I think maybe that's to show the progression of him as a character. Hey everybody, you gotta stay on task here. I don't know why I sound like Jack Nicholson.
And it ain't gonna load of me.
Could also be Christian Slater.
Yeah,
they all sound the same, real nasally.
Yeah, as you said, Falcon's like, let's go get him, Joes.
I do like this part as we end the minute here with Cobra Commander slithering after.
All the Joes running towards the where they presume the BET is, and Cobra Commander just following them into the distance there. He wants to be a part of the action. That is hilarious. And that's where this minute ends.
Absolutely.
Minute. We'll call it 9.
You say minute every time. I think it's 7, first of all.
Segment.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll call it segment. Let's go back in and edit that into every episode.
I'll do that.
Great job.
You know what it's time for?
Rip Deviations.
Ryan, what's you're following along, Mr. I was gonna say Flint Dilly, but that's not who you're following. You're following.
It's true.
another man by the name of
Buzz Dixon.
Buzz Dixon.
I knew you knew it. I cut you off. Sorry, you were
No,
gonna say it.
no, I'm glad you cut me off. I could have gone. I think I was getting ready to say Wally Burr.
Interesting.
What have you learned from listening to the?
Well,
does he have any other pre-written Monty Pythonian dialogue?
It was difficult to get past that last because it bled into this minute, and I just let it happen, and I'm like, I just hate it. I hate it so much. I have learned as the movie goes on, Buzz kind of stops talking.
Oh.
Like, he just seems to say less and less. I have very little on this. I feel like he kind of is checked out.
And there's nobody with him?
No, it's just him.
Okay. In the Transformers, the movie, I think it's Flint Dille and Susan Blue and, why am I blanking out on the director's name? Nelson Shin.
Yes.
The three of them are in there. But so you don't have anybody else to...
No, there's nobody to bounce shit off
Buzz
of.
just gets tired and just starts watching the movie, or doesn't. He might just leave while it's recording.
Maybe he's taking
I did get the feeling he's checking his tweets. I don't know. He's just they're long. There are minutes that go on where he doesn't say anything.
But what does he say?
Well, he doesn't say anything about the time worm, which I thought should have been an obvious. Like, come on, give me something about the fucking caterpillar on the cock. But no.
Counterpillar.
Thank you, Caleb. For Roadblock choking Cobra Commander, Buzz says, I like this scene. It was fun to write. And that's all we get. That's a lot. This is indicative of most of what we get from Buzz for the rest of this.
Very compelling content here.
He does say whenever Roadblock reunites, he says Lifeline is the only pacifist Joe, which I looked up and is true. Although Lifeline does have a black belt in Aikido, which is Steven Seagal's chosen martial art. I don't know if you've seen these Steven Seagal movies post like 1995, but
I try to avoid them.
You should, because most of them are straight to video, and he is tired and old.
Yeah, and insane.
Yes, yeah, he's not.
He wears two watches.
I don't know.
One on each arm, 2 wristwatches. I worked with a guy that is an.
You're gonna say Steven Seagal.
I worked with a guy that is also does martial arts, and he's an incense. He does the art of incense. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but there's a picture of him that he showed me of him showing Steven Seagal his incense, and I noticed that Steven Seagal's leaning in and has an identical wristwatch on each wrist, and I was like, why does he have 2 wristwatches on? He goes, oh. That's so he can know Hong Kong time and LA time.
So he doesn't have to do math?
Apparently.
But also, he just needs to know Hong Kong
Steven
time all the time.
Seagal
So there you go.
is a very strange person who's lied about inventing a bunch of martial arts and that he was a grandmaster and some shit. It's crazy. He's a very weird dude.
Would Seagal make a good Joe? He's kind of crazy enough.
That's a great.
Somebody
make a Steven. Well, you'll be hearing this
just
after
crazy
the contest
enough.
is over. But
just crazy enough to be some sort of Joe character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good celebrity Joe. That's a fun topic
Celebrity
unto itself.
Joes.
Is what celebrity Joes? What were some missed opportunities?
I do love Fat Steven Seagal as a Joe because all of his movies now just look like slap fights.
He'd be like a bad guy. I think would Seagal be a bad guy or a good guy or a wild card?
I'm just Steven Seagal.
Yeah, just himself.
I'm just myself. Did you see that movie with me and Keenan Ivory Wayans? That was pretty cool.
He just represents chaos.
Yeah.
My code name is Judge of Chaos.
All right.
Okay.
Celebrity Joe. Go. What's your celebrity Joe?
DJ Khaled.
How about Jean-Claude Van Damme could have been a good one. He could have been a Joe. He was a contender.
Just one.
I'm surprised there weren't more from the WWE world. They seem to have that crossover.
It is weird they just did Refrigerator Perry and Sergeant Slaughter.
I'm sure it was a licensing thing of some sort. I mean, Rocky was a Joe for a short period of time.
Was he?
What?
Rocky Balboa? Or are you thinking of Roddy Piper?
No, I'm thinking
Roddy Piper was a celebrity Joe.
Rocky Balboa is in the comic for a short period of time.
It
shows him running into battle with his boxing gloves on.
Great, because you don't want to do too much damage.
Right.
Him yet not Rambo. I don't know.
Weird Al.
I love it.
You gotta entertain on base.
I love it.
Although there might be some licensing rights because Chuckles wears a Hawaiian shirt. So
Weird Al's generally aren't white with patterns on it. His are usually darker with the pattern on it.
So it stands.
It stands.
Caleb?
Pierce
Brosnan?
No, not Pierce Brosnan. Who's the older guy with...
Sean Connery?
Hold on.
Sam Elliott.
No, hold on, everyone. From the Charles Bronson.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Charles Bronson.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
pretty good.
there we go.
That's better than...
Which has inspired my next answer to this, Patrick Swayze.
Oh, I like that.
West and I watched Point Break the other night. She'd never seen it before.
What
I know.
a gift you gave her.
Absolutely. I was like, before we started, I was like, I'm so jealous of you right now.
Holy moly.
Do you ever fire your gun up into the air and say, ah?
Has she seen that movie?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I would love to see Anthony Kiedis as a G.I. Joe. I'd like to
That
see the
would
whole
be
band.
a mistake.
That would be a waste of time.
The Red Hot
I always fucking...
yeah.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers would be a great subgroup, like
As-
the
Absolutely.
Renegades or the Rawhides,
man.
and they're just called the Red Hot Chili
No,
Peppers.
don't even. Yeah, they're just what they are.
Holy shit! I'm gonna, because I have time. That's my G My Joe.
Excellent.
Great.
I love it.
You're never gonna submit.
Probably not. But what's the point?
Okay, just to finish up here, as again, exemplary to Lifeline, there's nothing I can do for the snake. Buzz Dixon says, I like that line. At this
There's
point,
a lot of I like this
Yeah.
part. I like that line. I like the job I did.
At this point, I feel like
Allegedly.
Buzz Dixon has just become your grandfather who's like pointing out where shit used to be in the town. Like he's just like, hey, yeah, that was
a general store.
I remember when that was all forced.
I do that.
There was a grain silo over there. Yeah. Your kids must love
my
you.
wife, it drives my wife up the wall. I reminisce about Nixa from the 80s.
I remember when this town only had 2,000 people.
If you guys lived where she was from, she would do the same shit.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think so.
She's got no nostalgic bone.
Anymore I play on it and I'm like, once there was just nothing here at all.
Remember when that used to be? I was just a field, and now Harder House.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right.
To the part where the Rawhides arrive in the helicopter. Buzz Dixon says, yes, they just flew halfway around the world in a helicopter. It's not even a joke. He just said a thing, and then he says, what's that part where Big Lob like crashes into the plants? That whole leading up to that, he says, Big Lob talks too much. Which is a weird detail. And then the fist fight, he says, this was a fun scene to write, and the animators really had a lot of fun with it.
He's just checked out.
I know, it does seem
Thanks for
like...
the insight,
so-
Buzz.
That's a non-statement.
He's just so checked out.
That's all. That's it. That's all there was.
Oh man, this segment has gotten less important over time.
Absolutely.
If we could ever get our hands on the original Ron Friedman script, we would have to redo this whole thing. Yeah.
I know that they're... You know what?
By popular demand.
We get that and we just redo the whole movie and all of our fans would be so happy.
Yeah.
When we do it for 5 months like this has been.
We have fans.
Listeners.
We have good fans.
So I guess that leads us to our
Iconic Joement.
Yeah, I know. If only he was adding sound effects, that would have been a perfect one.
Yeah, God, I'm sorry. I don't...
He's gone into a coma.
I don't do a bunch of extra stuff for every episode as opposed to just like editing it and then putting it over.
I get it. I will start off with the Iconic Joement because it's just real easy. The Cobra Commander chokeout.
Yeah.
It's pretty... Or...
Did that make anyone else hard? You guys just hate me today. Won't let me have any fun.
You know...
I wake up a lot of clams.
Do clams sleep?
They open
Well.
up.
God. I feel like that was worse than
I don't
anything
know why-
Ryan's done.
Yeah, this is much grosser than my jokes.
About that iconic moment, I mean, yeah, Ryan, to your point, did that make anybody aroused? In the same way, I mean, the same thing that Serpentor's doing. Stroking it.
Choking the
Oh,
snake.
the snake. Well, mine was, I felt like whenever Flint held up Cobra Commander, was like, look at him. Just look at him.
I wrote
It's
that
so
too.
gross and weird.
That felt like the pinnacle of sadness for
Yeah.
Cobra Commander. Even more than sort of the writhing alone off in a corner, or even watching him slither alone with the Joes at the end. Like, I felt just lifting him up as an example of, this guy's fucked. And
It just made me think of all those pictures you see of people, like fishermen who've captured an enormous catfish, and it just looks so gross and unpleasant. I don't know. And then you're like, oh, right, that was a man. Once.
That image is kind of a symbol for just the movie in general.
Look at it.
Look at this.
well, I guess that's it. That's it.
And as of this recording, we have decided who's won the contest for G.I. Joe.
That's true.
As of this release.
Not in the reality that we exist right now, but in the reality in which you exist, listener.
Absolutely.
Listening to this, we've made a decision, and that decision will be broadcast in 2 weeks from when you are listening to this. So if you have access to a time chamber and you haven't entered, that doesn't exist. So
do you have a flux capacitor?
No, I mean, obviously they can listen to all of this in the future and just advance to the next episode on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play.
Tune in.
Good job.
It's almost like he's been here the whole time. I'm actually kind of shocked he remembered all that.
I'm surprised anybody remembers tune in.
Tune out.
But before we head out of here, as recounted last episode, we did do a minor re-up of APDC posters. So get them while you can, and take the time to. I wrote this down. My note says, "Take the time to thank those who've been supporting us at the APDC store." And so I'm taking that time right now. We also have the APDC pin series, illustrated by Ryan and me. So thank you for your patronage. More artwork on the way, as we like to say.
We need to get Caleb to come, get some shit up on the store.
Caleb's got the goods.
All of the things that you have are all my ideas. Name one. Name something. Any of them.
You mean the two things we have up on the store?
Sure.
The poster? The cup recruitment? It's a cup recruitment poster.
Yeah,
I don't think that's your idea at all.
You did make the Ghost of the Iconic Moment, and I made that pin.
Let's see. We did sort of collaborate on that Orson Welles as Unicron thing,
Yes.
but I don't know that I remember that just being your idea. I think what Caleb may be referring to is, I think that the name Autopod Decepticast would be, I think that in our brainstorming sessions, that did come out of his mouth, and we did end up going with it. So by his logic, any idea connected,
I guess,
loosely is his idea, ultimately.
I do think I came up with the cup recruitment poster idea, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't, but it's fine.
Anyway, you're right. I need to contribute some.
Ryan or Caleb is a great conceptualist and draftsman.
It's true.
Yeah.
His Lonely Shockwave image is one of my favorites.
Absolutely. I do have a Starscream poster that I just need to,
do.
Well, it's basically done. I want to send it to you, Aaron, for that polish that you did for
thank you. Wow.
The
collabo
poster. Yeah.
And I'm also working on a Cybertronian map poster in the
Oh, yeah.
style of Aaron Draplin, although I haven't worked on it in like 3 months, so it's in the backlog. I got shit going on. If anybody is getting married or graduating, I've been doing a lot of marriage invitations and graduations lately. So hit me up. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Maybe I'll post some pictures online.
Cool.
As long as we're throwing stuff out there, I can do freelance artwork if you want to pay me.
I don't do art by trade, but I'm really good at it.
And want to pay me to do something, I'll do it too.
Caleb's better at waking clams than Ryan, if that's
What?
Your particular
Scandalous.
interest. Please continue to listen and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and TuneIn. iTunes users, please subscribe, leave a review, and there's, of course, social media, Twitter, where we're most active, Facebook.
Absolutely.
I barely am active.
Basically, yeah,
Get
I
up
put
on
the
that?
link to the podcast,
Ryan
and that's
messed up.
pretty much it.
Instagram?
Instagram, pretty fallow.
We should be better at that, because I like Instagram as a social media platform.
say that.
I like the... Okay. All of them at APOD Decast, and our web presence, autopoddecepticast.com. Maybe some pictures of Tulum I don't know. Maybe some pictures of...
Do you not know? Because you have to know.
Maybe some pictures of cookies.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some...
Maybe. I'm trying to figure that out.
Maybe some pictures of Ryan in a van.
No. Ryan's sleeping on the floor of a bathroom.
Oh,
so we need to throw
there
him
we
in
go.
there.
I'll get that tomorrow.
I like that.
Awesome.
I like that. All right, peep the shop, check the merch, buy something awesome. G My Joe challenge,
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
which you can't participate in
It's
right
already
now.
over. It's already over.
This is
a
a very
weird episode.
This is a very difficult job. Yeah, from a timeline perspective.
Absolutely.
All right,
We've
well.
just got this one on the wall with a bunch of pins and strings.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This was a bad episode.
No!
I feel like we need more.
crazy
I feel like we need more ideas.
It's true. I didn't think of very many.
Caleb's like, "Meh, we're done.
I don't know why you thought he'd come up with anything.
Yeah, that's true. My fault. It's like the snake you carry across the river and then it bites you.
It's in my nature.
What did you expect? I'm fucking Caleb. I don't do anything around here.
I never say that.
Is there enough for...
Brussels, where we sell good.